Hello! Welcome to another edition of Unboxing Alyss, the YouTube channel where that purple fox that unboxes things. I'm Alyss Frost, and as I said in the last video, we're going to start this year off strong-ish, and we're going to unbox Alyss. Again. You're new to my channel, or you missed the last update. I did get my newish suit, Alyss 2.5 in, so I was going to start the year off by unboxing that. And I was hoping we would all unbox this and just find things out together, but this is a reshoot. I normally only shoot my videos once, but I shot this video and I went to edit it, and then I found out, yeah, it didn't pick up any sound. So I know some people dub over their videos later on, but I'm not that talented. So we're just going to reshoot this baby, and actually doing that might make this video like way shorter because the first video was over an hour long. But anywho, as I said, I am going to unbox my beautiful Alyss, who I borrowed from the dining room table. She is over there, so you know what she looks like. This has been a journey, and in case you are indeed new to my channel and you do not know the saga of Alyss the suit, I'll give you a very brief recap now. I originally commissioned the first Alyss Frost suit in 2018 and got it. Everything was great. And then about 2 years later, right before COVID, the cable for the fan actually broke. So I sent it in for repairs. I sent in my paws as well. And I think the feet paws too, to get those restuffed. Note to for those who are watching, don't put your feet paws in the washing machine. That's all I have to say about that. It'll mess up the stuffing. But yeah, sent it. Shenanigans happened with the Costa Rican postal service, and they were just going to send it back. Never saw it to this day. I don't know what happened to Alyss 1.0. I haven't seen her since. So commissioned Alyss 2.0 in 2021 after waiting a year to hope she came back, and she didn't. So I commissioned 2.0. I did full partial. I wanted everything to match. So I got the head, the paws, the arm sleeves, the feet paws, the tail, and Blue Wolf has since added leg sleeves to her partial. So I do have a set of leg sleeves. They do not stay up very well, as I think I said in that unboxing video. I'll try and put that unboxing video here. There is no unboxing video for 1.0. It was on a different phone, and that phone was janky, and I lost the video. So there is no 1.0, but there is a video for 2.0. I'll probably post that here if I remember. But she forgot the tail. She forgot we had ordered a full partial, not just replacing the parts I lost. So there is an extra tail in here. I actually commissioned that like I think October 2021 when I got Alyss 2.0. I let her know, hey, no tail. And she's like, okay, I'll get that done in a week. I'm just getting it now. And I'll talk about that later on. While she was working on the tail, I also commissioned some ears because she was making ears, and I thought ears would be cute. I'm just getting those now. I will talk about that later. So those are in here. Fast forward to Gateway for me last year. I was using Alyss 2.0 minus the tail at the convention, and the head base cracked. The head base was 3D printed, not printed by Blue Wolf. She ordered it from somebody else. Cracked. Did not work. So I sent it back in. And while it was there, I commissioned new feet paws. I've mentioned in several videos, I hate the feet paws for Alyss 2.0. She had since switched from 1.0 to Crocs in the feet paws. I can't walk in Crocs. They're very, very uncomfortable for me. So I decided, since she has to send all this other stuff to me, can I get some new feet paws? So that's where we are today. All of that stuff has since been sent and is in the box in front of me. And I'm going to show that to you now. And again, I know stuff now. So I'm sorry about that. I did want us to discover everything together. And that's what we did in the first video before I didn't record the audio. But there were a couple of things I missed. So I'm going to go ahead and add those in this video. But let's start with the unboxing. And we're going to start with the top, which is the tail. Tail. So now, as you can see, I have two tails. They actually aren't the same color. Some of this, again, I didn't realize until after I finished shooting. If you aren't if you aren't like if you don't work with fabric, then you may not know this. And this is something to think about if you're going to make your own suit, or even if you're going to commission someone. There is such a thing called a dye lot, and it's just different batches of the fabric. And It's all done probably by machine, and it's fairly uniform, but even then, colors can be slightly different. I'm not talking about like a navy blue versus a sky blue. That's ridiculous. They're obviously two different colors. I am talking about two whites, or two blacks, or two whatever this is. I think it's lavender. So keep that in mind if you want to make your own suit, or if you're, I know there's some people that commission partials, like Alyss is a full partial, because they aren't sure if they can tolerate the heat, or they're not sure if they like suiting, so they will hold off on a bodysuit. Just keep in mind that if you commission your partial now and your bodysuit later, even from the same maker, even if they buy their fur from the same source, they might be slightly different in color. And I am going to show you what I mean, because these are different in color. But I will show you the new tail. It's so light. And part of that's my fault. Don't put stuffed things in the washing machine. That's what I'm going to say. There may be a way to do that, but when I wash my fursuit components in the washing machine, cold water only, do not put them in the dryer at all. I know there are ways to, there are some dryers that have a no heat option, so you can kind of wring some of that extra water out, especially if you're putting a bodysuit in there. Ask your maker what they suggest, but double check and make sure that no heat option is truly no heat, because if you put heat on this thing, you're going to ruin the fur, and it's not going to come out. You basically ruined your suit. Keep that in mind. But I brought that up because I put this in, this is my old tail. I put this in the washing machine, not the dryer. And when you put something stuffed in the washing machine, the stuffing tends to bunch up, and that's what happened. So instead of being all nice and uniform, it just kind of piled, or pooled, not pooled because it's not liquid, but it kind of piled down here. I can sew, I make plushies, so I was able to find the seam, rip this open. I just shoved that extra foam in the bottom of the tail, so it's a weighted tail now. I could kill somebody with this tail. You hear that? Yeah, it's a heavy tail. And then I just stuffed the rest with regular, polyfill. But yeah, don't do that. Don't be me. So that's my fault. That's not Blue Wolf's fault. That's something I did. Right away, noticing this new tail, it's much lighter because I haven't screwed it up yet. It is slightly different in color. Come here. Dang it. If you'll notice it might be hard to see on my phone, but these are two different purples. They're noticeably different. This is kind of a slightly brighter, more vibrant one. And let me look at I think this is lavender. This color is supposed to be lavender. Yeah, this is more vibrant to me. This is duller. And I will say, I've had this is from Alyss 1.0. So this tail is from 2018. So it's 4 years old. Part of it may have faded. I will tell you right now, I don't really wash tails. I don't see a point in really washing a tail, unless it's a floor dragger, obviously, because it's going to collect dirt. But I did wash this a couple times. I tend to wear dog wash jeans, and the dye they use tends to bleed. So I have had instances where I've had dye bleed on this, and I've had to actually scrub it out with like grandma's secret spot remover or whatever the heck it is I use. But looking at these two again, there is a difference in color. And I am assuming Blue Wolf bought fabric from the same places. This part is not going to be on her. It's just dye lots. This is what happens. So please keep that in mind. The front, this is clearly much wider. Though, again, this is whoops, come back. Stop leaving me. Bless, everything I love leaves me. This is older, so this might be part of that reason. It might be, a little, I hate using the term dingy because this isn't a dirty tail, but it's just not as bright white as this one. So please keep that in mind. Another difference between these two is, whoa, now it's going to slap me in the face. This end point. This is where you attach it to your belt, and they're very, very different. For Alyss 1.0, this is what Blue Wolf was doing. There was just this giant, I don't even know what's in here. It's hard, whatever it is. But this is what you would, let me see if I can turn this to the side. This is what you would thread your belt through, right there. So, and then it would just hang. So I'm not going to put this on my belt today, but I'm just going to, here. So there's a lot going on here, and in part because my tail is heavy, and I explained why. But just all this extra really isn't needed. This isn't how I see a lot of tutorials for like tails and whatnot. Give me a second, let me make sure this didn't unplug itself because I do not want to record this a third time. There we go. No one really does this, but this was 4 years ago. So moving to the new tail, I think this could be done a bit cleaner. Sorry. This is where the belt's going to go through. Whoopsie. If you can see that. And this is what that's going to look like. I'm not sure about this piece. I feel like this could have been done a bit differently or a bit better. Honestly, as big as, because this is a fox tail, so it's going to be a big tail. 2 loops, like maybe 2 strips of, that's probably like faux leather or something, or vinyl, I'm not sure. Probably vinyl. Like something this thick, like 2 of those down like this. I think that would have been honestly fine for something like this. There's not much here. There are ways to even make like invisible belt loops, and I will send you to Nefertiti for that. She has an excellent video on how to make tails with basically just holes in the tail. So there's really easy to hide. It's a lot more secure to your body too. I'm not gonna knock Blue Wolf for not doing what someone else is doing. I do wish this was a bit cleaned up though. I'm not sure why we have this here. I think it's supposed to sit like this. So this is supposed to be on the bottom. It just feels a little chunky, or a little clunky, that's the word I want. But I will put this on. I do have a belt that miraculously still fits me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on and we're gonna see how it moves. Well, again, because I've seen it, but you guys haven't. Let's put my shirt down. My stomach is constantly eating my shirt. Let's make sure I put this on in a way so it doesn't mess up my microphone. There we go. I almost didn't use the microphone because with that, it's a very long cord. It's a hassle. But I tried I did a little quick run without it, and I'm basically shouting at you. No one really wants to hear that. I also can't see where the hole is because my boobs are in the way. There it is. And obviously, if you're going out and wearing an actual belt with this, you're probably going to thread it through the belt loops. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. But usually you would do that and it will give you more security as well. So let me make sure this is not in the way. It is not. And it's still plugged in as far as I can tell. So here you go. Tail. Move this box. Tail. There we go. Love the fact that it's much lighter because this thing, the tail is so big and I'm so short. I'm about 5'2½". It's not a floor dragger for me, but it still tends to hit like my ankles and things like that. Especially it hits stairs when I go up and down stairs, which is annoying, but it's a long tail and I'm short, so I can't really do much about that. But it's going to be a lot easier to walk around with this tail since it's lighter. So I do appreciate that. I'm willing to bet that it's going to be more secure on me too when I properly thread it through the belt loops. So this is definitely improvement on what I have. And again, I'm not going to fault the heaviness of that on Blue Wolf. That was me and my stupidity. But there you go. There is the tail. Don't fall on that. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. Okay, put that there. Go that way. All right, both the tails over there. Give me a box of stuff. Moving on. Next we have ears. We have ears and we have a sticker and one of her business cards. So I'll hold with the sticker. I'm pretty sure you've seen it before. Oops, that is not right. There we go. Sticker. And I'll hold up the business card, but you can't see it from there. So I'll take pictures and put those in the video, and I will also put her information down in the description. This, once again, was commissioned when she was making the new tail. So I just thought it'd be cute. And she was just making... I hadn't seen her make ears before. And it was kind of a bit of experimentation there. So I was like, hey, that'd be neat. I was thinking of taking it to like an anime convention. You know, I could wear it at furry conventions if I don't feel like suiting at that moment, but I want to express my character. So here they are. Ears. They do move a lot when you do this. So if you are a rave person, keep that in mind. But they're pretty comfortable. They're not really hurting my head. They've been on my head for 2 seconds, so it's not like they've been sitting on my head for an hour. They might get uncomfortable later on. I'm not really sure. It looks kind of weird, especially because my hair is in braids like they usually are. But in probably a month or less, I'll be getting dreadlocks. They used to be called that. They're usually just referred to as locks now in my hair. So I will have much fuller hair and not just 4 braids. And I'm kind of looking forward to that because just think of, even if you don't have locks, if you're a person that has longer hair and you wear something like this, your longer hair tends to cover a lot of this stuff. So it's just going to show, the ears are just kind of be poking out, and that's the cute look you really want. So I am looking forward to that. I just messed up my hair, and that's okay. But looking at the ears, they look fine. I forgot to say on this tail, this is a bit longer than the old one. Like the white, she used a longer white in that area. I kind of like the short fur better, or it was shaved maybe. I'm not sure what she did. But I understand why Blue Wolf used the long fur. It's a fox. Fox have very fluffy tails. But the only other issue with this one is not on Blue Wolf. This has been sitting in a box for a month, so it's very crinkly. There is a way to get rid of like crinkled fur, like fur that's been sitting in a suitcase or in one space for a long time. It does require applying a little bit of heat, and I would strongly suggest going on YouTube and looking at videos and following those. But I think it's using like a hair dryer and just kind of brushing that area out until it straightens out. Not a ton of heat, or again, you will ruin your fur. But with this, I'm not seeing many issues. There's a little bit of airbrushing here just to give itself a bit of a contrast between the purple and the white. It's going to be really hard to see from this distance, but there's just a tiny bit, like a line of airbrushing there. The inside has a lot of fluff. All the fluff. It does have her gauges that are in her ears. I hope you can see those. I can now see you through that. There you go. They're on either side. And this seems to be held together. I'm going to guess there's some glue in here too, but it looks like it's held together by some metal, like not snaps, like metal ties or something like that. So I don't know if you can see that, but they're like right here, and I can't find it right here. There's the other one. So their ears, they look pretty decent. Bit close on the shave on the inside, but overall a pretty good pair of ears. So I'm looking forward to wearing these, and I hope they last a long time. And I don't need that. You'll go that way. Now feet paws. I mentioned that the old ones have Crocs, and I do have a pair of Alyss 2.0 feet paws. Here, 1.0s were lost in the mail, so I don't have those. This is 2.0s, and I can feel the Crocs in them. You can't see anything. So I may, if I feel like it, try and take some pictures inside here with like a flashlight or something. But I brought this, I think it's the right foot paw here, to just show you the differences. And when I did the video the first time, I could not figure out what paw was what. Looking at the old foot paw, this is right. I'm sure you can see that right there. Just has her logo, and then it says R. What I was digging through here in the first shoot, because I was like, what is this? What are you? But way in here, it says. I need a wireless mic that works. So I tried getting a wireless mic, it did not work. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, so if you go like halfway down the back of the calf, it has her logo again, and it says L. I'm not sure. I kind of prefer it being right here on top, so I don't have to dig for it. Because when I went through the first shoot of this video, I couldn't find it. I thought she just didn't label it. I was like, what? Why? Why would you change that? And I really had to dig in there to find them. But I think I can understand maybe what the thought process was. Having tags like this flapping around can be annoying. I mean, I wear socks underneath my feet paws So if there's going to be anything funky in there, I'm probably not going to feel it. But, you know, I don't know what other people do. Some people might just go around, you know, barefoot inside these things. And it might bother them. So I can kind of see why she just sewed the whole thing to the back of the shoe. But it's looking pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and hold up. Oh, there's a lot of padding in there. Yeah. I can't show you some of this padding because it's in the foot. It's like where the toes are. But yeah, there's a lot more padding in here, and it's not. They're not Crocs in these. She showed me a picture. They look like sandals, like flip-flops, except made of like velvet or something, which I've never seen those before. But sure, they're definitely more comfortable than these. But I will hold these up. I think these are, but no, this is left. But it honestly doesn't really matter, does it? No. Whatever. I'll hold up two rights. So, well, you know, equivalent comparison. So, old, new. I'm kind of liking the shave job a bit more on the old ones. It just looks more, you know, it looks a bit neater. But it could also be because this thing has been in the box. So, if I do a bunch of brushing, it might end up looking like that. You can see that the toes are far more pronounced in the new one. And I think that's kind of a cool look. Whereas it's just kind of one paw. Or one, like, just... I won't say it's one giant toe because that's not what this looks like. But I just like there's more definition. I guess I could see... Because there's some animals that have toes that are really close together. Honestly, this reminds me of a cat, which Alyss is not. But I do kind of like the fact there's more definition here. And something I think I noticed after I finished shooting, these look the same, you know, same colors and everything. Looking at the back, I'm kind of wondering if she was making, what are these, digitigrade feet paws. Those are very much a thing now. I can send you to Nefertiti, and I think Sky High Studios also has a tutorial on how to make them. But I'm sure many of you are familiar with fursuits and digitigrade versus plantigrade, but if you're not, a plantigrade suit is just going to have straight legs. It's for a plantigrade animal, like humans are plantigrade. We walk on our full foot. As opposed to digitigrade, that's an animal that walks on its toes. So it's going to be like your dog or your cat or something like that. If you have a dog or cat in your house, go bother them and look at their feet right now, and you'll see they just walk on their toes, and then there's like that pad there. So that's the difference between digitigrade versus plantigrade. Her old feet paws are very much plantigrade, but looking, and I'm going to flip these around because I feel like it's a bit more pronounced actually in the front, just the way this was made. This is pretty standard. This is a standard, you know, foot paw. But if you look at digitigrade feet paws, they have, it's going to be higher in the back than in the front. And that's what Blue Wolf has done here. And I'm kind of wondering, it's not as stiff as, I haven't made any, but I've seen Nefertiti's videos, I've seen Sky's videos. There is more padding here. So you actually put some foam in the back here. And it's supposed to simulate that look. That used to be achieved through a bodysuit. That's why you would have padding, let me stand up, padding here in the front. And then you'd have, you can't see my calf, but like here in the back of your calf. That's to simulate that digitigrade look. Now, there are some makers like Nefertiti and like Sky who are just making that illusion in the foot paw as opposed to the bodysuit. So looking closely at these, I'm wondering if that's what Blue Wolf is doing, if Blue Wolf has started making digitigrade feet paws, which is really cool. She is. It was kind of slight. I was also wondering why there was such a nice finish here on the old paw. Just this not hem. This little border. I forgot what this is called, but we're gonna call it a border for right now. But it's just to look nice. It's just, you know, a nice little finisher for your project. Also feels nice in your skin. I believe it's made of like fleece. But this one, it doesn't have that finish. As you can see, it's kind of all over the place. It's, you'll sew nicely. There's nothing wrong with the sewing in itself. It just doesn't have that nice, neat, like, border around it. But I'm starting to wonder if that is the reason. This is a different kind of foot paw as opposed to this one, which this one, there is no padding anywhere up here. It's all just fur. Well, fur on the outside and then fleece on the inside because it is lined. And all the stuffing is going to be like in the toes. The toes and maybe this, no. No, there's no stuffing in the back because I'm feeling croc. So the stuffing here is mainly in the toes. I'm going to put that down because screw you. But in this one, yeah, definitely stuffing all the way around this foot. So I'm willing to bet that she's making digitigrade feet paws, which is really cool. Though I do hope she keeps the plantigrades as well because not all animals are digitigrade. Digitigrade tends to be really cute, and that's what a lot of people gravitate towards, but I've seen quite a few furries give their character digitigrade feet paws or, you know, whatever, and that animal isn't digitigrade, they're plantigrade. And even vice versa. There's plenty of wolf, dog, fox fursuits or full suits that have plantigrade when dogs, the canines are digitigrade, but they probably chose plantigrade because it's easier to walk in a fursuit or in a full suit. It's easier to walk in plantigrade, which has no padding, as opposed to digitigrade. Okay, so after all that talking, let's get these puppies out. I already forgot which one I'm holding. I'm pretty sure this is right. Yeah. So this is the set, and they look nice. They are huge. Please keep that in mind when you get feet paws. They are huge. These aren't stompy. I saw someone at MFF. I was talking to two women for like 15 minutes, and I saw their stompy paws. They look great, but they are really huge. See, these are that huge. But these are really nice. They clearly need a brush, but they've been in the box. I'm going to go ahead and try these on again, I guess. There we go. I will take these socks off. These are, when I wear socks, I wear regular socks, like ones you'd wear with tennis shoes. These are like house socks. They're a little thicker than regular socks, and they've got the, it keeps you from slipping on like your kitchen floor so you don't fall and bust your butt. So it says Mulan on it. These are from like Hot Topic years ago. But I don't wear something like that inside these feet paws. It's a little thick. And also this material, the anti-slip material, it gets kind of weird in there. So for now, I'm just going to put my regular feet in there. But when I walk around, I will have regular socks. Let's see. And sitting does nothing. I'll have to actually stand up and walk on these things. Yeah, there's definitely some padding in the top. I'm feeling it a lot. It's not like crushing my toes or anything. It's not uncomfortable. I'm just feeling it. It's just giving you a bit. It feels like more security for me. Like my feet aren't going to go anywhere. I wish there was a bit of this padding in the back. I wear a lot of tennis shoes and things, different shoes that are completely encased. I don't like shoes that don't have a back to them. So I don't wear flip-flops very often. And that was an issue with those well, there's many issues with those Crocs, but that was one of the issues. It doesn't have a back to it, and it felt very insecure. It felt like my feet were slipping all over the place. But these are a size 10. I'll grab this again so I don't accidentally step on it. Glad I didn't get an 11. I fluctuate because my weight fluctuates, 10, 11. But I went ahead and told her 10. I'm really glad I did because 11 would be way too big. They're feeling really good. I think it's going to feel a bit better when I have socks. I might add a bit of padding in the back just for a little bit of stability, but it's not uncomfortable. It's just a weird feeling for me because I'm not used to it. But yeah, just walking on these, I don't want to get too close to the camera, so I can't walk very far. But walking in these is infinitely better than those. I could definitely spend time walking around a convention in these. I was very lucky to get through the Gateway for Me parade with those because my feet were killing me. Another thing, the sandals she's using, it feels like there's a lot of give. With the Crocs, they're very hard. I believe they're made of like a plastic material. There's no give at all. So even when I try to add like an insert, some kind of shoe insert to alleviate some of that discomfort, then my toes would get crushed. My overall foot would just get crushed because it would be crushed up against the Croc and there's nowhere for it to go. So definitely an improvement over my first ones. I really can't say that enough. And let me show you an extra feature for Blue Wolf's feet paws that you did see. If you saw my unboxing video for 2.0, then you know this already. But she's doing this again, and I will never stop praising her for this. I really love this aspect of the feet paw design. So, I don't know which one this is. It doesn't matter. These are obviously outdoor feet paws, ones you wear, you know, on concrete, you know, outside, in grass, whatever, what have you. You're still probably going to feel like if you step on a rock or something through these things, they're not shoes. So, and the shoes in here, I don't think are outdoor shoes, like the sandals or whatever. So you're going to feel some stuff, but this will take a beating in terms of you walking around. I'm sure many of you have seen the indoor feet paws, the ones that have all the fur here and actually have the pads. Those were really cute and they look awesome with characters, but you cannot wear them outside because they will get all torn up. Especially the ones I have. These are, not this, but the ones I'm going to show you are silicone. I actually don't know if silicone will last better or worse than like cloth pads. I would think maybe a bit better, but all the same, don't wear indoor feet paws outside. I did that in the Gateway Fur Meet parade because I'm an idiot and I forgot to change the soles. But yeah, just wearing it once or twice is not going to completely destroy them. It's just, you know, I had to clean them a lot harder. But don't make a habit out of it or you're going to mess them up. But with these are both. Usually when you go to a maker and you're getting feet paws, they have, you know, you can choose indoor, you can choose outdoor, and sometimes you can choose like Stompy. And for Blue Wolf, you get both. Not the Stompy part, but you get outdoor and indoor. And it's a matter of, taking this off. As you can see, it's just Velcro. And finding, am I holding left? I think I'm holding left in this hand. So these are actually labeled. Finding the corresponding bottom. And then sticking it on here. So, there you go. And now you've got, I'm shaking to try and knock it off and you can't. Now you've got a set of indoor feet paws. So this works really, really well. When I'm at MFF, we're usually in the loft. So it's going across, we don't have to walk outside, but we, like I said in that video, we have to go through a parking lot. That's going to count as outdoors. So it's outdoors. So you're not going to wear it with something like this outdoors. So I wouldn't wear these. Like, I will wear the feet paws next year and at Gateway Fur Meet, but I'm not going to wear these outside. So these will probably never see the light of day when I go to MFF unless we get a hotel room that is connected via the Sky Bridge, because then you can walk inside the entire time, and then I could rock these. At GFM, it's a very tiny con. It's only one hotel, so it's pretty easy to just grab these and go downstairs. And that's actually why I accidentally wore the indoors outdoor, because it's just so easy. You usually don't have to change. I forgot to change. So, but again, I will never stop loving her for this. I really love this ingenious invention. So I can go ahead and put these on too. I just put the feet paws on, but with the pads. No. No. Yes. Okay. Let's see. And I did notice after filming the first time, this is kind of coming undone. I believe a lot of this is supposed to be sewn underneath, like this extra fur. Sorry, I don't know if you see that. So that's not great, but I believe hot glue could fix that. That's something that I could easily. I don't know if I have the right kind of hot glue, but I'd have to check and see what kind of hot glue gun I have. I may need a high temp hot glue gun and the corresponding sticks, but if that is the case, that's not expensive. I do have a hot glue gun. I used it when making Fredbird, but I might not have a high temp one. And I think for fursuit parts, you want a high temp hot glue gun, but I have to double check. I'm not sure. Oops. Got there. Where'd you go? Okay, come on, you. All right. Bloop. It feels weird because I'm walking on pads. I can feel the pads underneath, especially the big pad that makes up the palm. It feels weird, but it doesn't feel like uncomfortable. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to say that these were a marked improvement, and I'm very happy with these. Let's move the box over there. All right. Hopefully this is still filming. There we go. Alrighty then. Finally, what you probably actually came for. Oh, outdoor feet paws? No. Well, that too, but you came to see my girl. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll do that last. You came to see my girl, and here she is. Here is my completed, revamped, whatever you want to call it, Alyss Frost. Her head base. Or her head, I'm sorry, not the base. Well, the base is in there. You know what I mean. Moving on. I swear to you, she gets fatter. I'm going to find pictures of Alyss 1 and 2.0 and compare it to 2.5. And I swear she's getting, like, her face is getting fatter. Like, she's gaining weight as fast as I am, which is sad. But she looks adorable. I'm loving this, you know, hair over her eye look. I want to take a picture of that later on. I don't like it when the fur head is on me because then I can't see. I remember when I had Alyss 1.0 and I was bowling with the St. Louis furs way back when I lived in the St. Louis area. And these were not, as you can see, these aren't anchored down anywhere. So every time I tried to bowl, they both right in my eyes every single time. So I'm probably going to have to do some sewing here and anchor these down like I did with 1 and 2.0. But I do like it a lot. I love her little hair. I love the muzzle. This nose looks a lot cleaner than 2.0. Just the way it's been painted. I think it's a little off center, like a little like tilted slightly, but that's not really super noticeable. I'm actively kind of looking for flaws right now, so that's why I'm seeing it. But someone who just walks up to me, they probably aren't going to notice. There's some airbrushing here. I don't know if you can see the blue color. It's just kind of to transition from this blue nose to the purple. There's airbrushing here. Her fox mark. I see a lot of foxes with this mark. I don't know what this is called, but whatever that is. Her eyeliner or mascara or whatever. I don't wear makeup, so I don't know. But this black stuff here is all airbrushed. The spot around her mouth is airbrushed. It looks really good. There's also some purple. Okay, put that over there for a second. Here, outlining between the white and the purple, there's like a light purple airbrushing to, again, transition. I do like the way that's done. Airbrushing scares the heck out of me because I'm afraid to clean it. I'm afraid it's going to bleed. Blue Wolf has told me a zillion times it's fine. I haven't tried it yet. I think I will, like in a small spot just to test it. I will use a little green when I do so. There are ways to clean a fursuit head. Sky High Studios, I know, has 2 videos on how to clean a head. One with what's called a little green, basically a little carpet cleaner, which I do have. And there's one where you don't have one. You're just cleaning the old-fashioned way without it. So even if you don't have one of those, there are ways to clean your fursuit head. So don't freak out about that. This base was printed by Blue Wolf. After what happened with me, she's done with whoever she was buying stuff from. So she's now printing her own bases. I believe she did print her own nose. Let's see. I think the eye blanks are hers. I think she's doing jaw sets as well. So there's Alyss's very scary teeth. I don't think she's printing this gauge, but it's in there. Alyss does have her gauge. See if I can go away here. There's the gauge. It's on the other side as well. Inside her mouth, it's going to be hard to see from that angle, but she does have a piercing in her tongue like she always has before. It's right there. Just a silver ball. But it's looking good. Just fat-faced. She actually had a much fatter face in the work in progress. Like, can you help her lose some weight in the cheeks? But she's looking really good. I don't have any real complaints about how she looks, other than fat face, and that's just how she is. That's something I've noticed looking at the other 2 Alysses that I've had. Her face has just gotten fatter. And part of that is just Blue Wolf developing her style and seeing what she likes, what style she wants to call her own. I guess she's wanting bigger faced characters. So, which is fine. Here is the back of her, which is just, that's supposed to be her actual hair, and this is just supposed to be her, body fur. Excuse me. But yeah, that's her. I think the eyes are a little recessed in there. They're kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see them. They look fine. They're the right color and everything else. Just, especially in the dark, it's almost like black voids that you're looking at. It's hard to see inside her eyes. The whole thing with 3D or follow me eyes, they have to be, set in the head a little bit, or you're not going to get that effect. It's just, these are set in quite a bit. But I will go ahead and put this on and hopefully not ruin everything. Like my microphone. That's what I made. Okay. And well, let me see if I can flip this around without breaking everything. So you can see a little bit in there maybe, perhaps. I'll try and take pictures. But there is a mechanism here. And I've worked construction, so I know what I'm talking about. But like a hard hat or some other hats like that, they usually have like a twist thing like this. You can hear that clicking noise. It helps adjust the size of the hat. And she's installed these. These were in 2.0 as well, which I really appreciated, actually. I like the fact that you can change out the size of the head. I don't see anyone else but me wearing Alyss, but who knows? I don't know. Someone might want to try her on, or might want to, use her to perform in like a dance competition or something, and, whatever. So, I do like that. Do I still have my, yes, it's there. He's still there. Looking at this material, it's definitely thicker than whoever she was buying from. And she actually did show us a picture when she got 2.0 back to fix her. She showed us a picture, cross section of 2.0's base, like the 3D printed plastic, and then the plastic she's using in these. And it looks a lot stronger and a lot sturdier, so definitely looking forward to that. There is a pillow in the very top. I don't know if you can see that. It's like right there. It's camo colored. But I guess that's to help just, alleviate some pressure in the top of the head. I really like that. Let's see what else. There are some gigantic, I think they're screws, bolts. I don't know handyman stuff, but whatever's on the side, it's there for the jaw to keep it, to get it to move, and it serves as like to hold the hinge. Very uncomfortable in Alyss 2.0. It actually dug into my cheek. So it actually doesn't here, and I will put this on in a second. As soon as I'm done describing things, there is a sweatband area here, just for comfort as well. There is a bit of fur, like right where the eyes meet and where the nose is. There's fur right here, like where the bridge of your nose goes. I don't know if I like the fact that it's fur, because I'm already going to get enough fur in my system just wearing this darn thing. So maybe like fleece or something in the future. But I do like what she's trying to do, just make that area a bit more comfortable for your nose. Let's see, is there anything else I want to point out that you can't see? Let me see. Oh, there is a very, a wire or metal spring that's serving to, open and close the jaw. In 2.0, it was literally a rubber band. And I was like, oh God, please don't let this thing break. It's going to break because it's a freaking rubber band. But how do I replace it? What do I do? Oh, yeah, I was so scared. It broke in another place, so I didn't have to worry about it. But the fact that this is, wire or, metal, it's a bit more assuring for me. So I do like that. I'm going to go ahead and put this puppy on. Or I don't know what a baby fox is. Is it a kit? I think it's a kit. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. All right. There's hair on my face. There we go. So. Okay, that was there. All right. So, first of all, I can see better There was a bit of glare over here earlier when I shot this the first time, but there was daylight in that window. So I'm not seeing it now. I am seeing it actually pretty well. You know, or as well as you can in the Fursuit. You're not going to say perfectly, and I still see mesh because, you know, mesh is there. But honestly, the mesh isn't as bad as it has been in the past. Like, I almost can't see there's mesh there. I can, but it seems a lot clearer. I don't know if it's bigger or if it's just a different material, but I'm liking that a lot. I'm not sure about the responsiveness for the jaw. I'll have to look at the video and see. It doesn't feel like it's moving a ton, but that might be something I have to play with. So we'll see what happens with that. Another thing, and I mentioned this in the first video, but that bridge, the fluff over the nose, that's kind of there to be, give you a little bit of comfort. It's also squishing my nose. So if I don't, hold it up, I'm going to talk like this because my nose is squished right now. So I can, make it so that I don't talk like that. But that's a thing. Oh, God. I will just have to get used to not breathing through my nose when I suit, which is not really ideal. When you're in a suit, it's hot. You want as many breathable areas as possible. So, you're breathing through your eyes. That sounds really weird, but you do get airflow through the eyes. If you have nostrils, which Alyss does, you get some airflow through there, as tiny as they are. And of course, you're going to get airflow through the mouth. And would be nice if I could breathe in and out that airflow with both my nose and my mouth, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'll have to mess with this a bit. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not super uncomfortable. Let me move that a bit. There we go. See if I can. There. So the screws or wherever the heck they are on the side aren't burrowing into my cheek like they were in the other version. So that's also a plus. I do appreciate that. It is hot as heck in here though. And that's because the fan doesn't work. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to go through the song and dance I did in the other video, which I did in the other video because I didn't know this, but the fan unfortunately does not work. So I'm going to take this off right now because I have no idea what you can hear when I try to talk. Okay. Okay. Yeah. In the first shoot, I tried using, this is from Ameren, Illinois. So I think gas company. But I tried using this little dude because it's light. And it should work, but when it didn't turn on, I thought maybe this isn't strong enough. Though these fans don't really, this is a computer fan. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. I used to have a small power bank that I would use just for my suit, and it stopped working, unfortunately. So, it would turn on, and after about 30, 45 seconds, it would just shut off. The fan would shut off. And it wasn't the suit, it was the actual power bank. I'm not sure why it did that, because when I use Chunky Boy here, I'm sure you remember him, because I used him in 2.0, worked fine. The biggest issue with Chunky Boy is he's chunky, he's big. This is about a pound. It's really, really heavy. It's not as heavy as the power bank I use my Steam Deck, which I can't show you. It's actually powering my phone. I charged up my phone to shoot this video, and then, I had to reshoot it, and my phone was at 29%. I can't put my phone in the tripod with the charging case, so got to use the power bank. Anyway, but yeah, that's the worst part about this head is the phone. The fan does not work. And I tried all three in the first video. I tried the Ameren one, I tried Chunky Boy, and I tried the basis. And all of them are fully charged, just so you know. That, you can't see the basis one, but it actually has a numeral amount of what percentage it is, and it was at 100. With the Chunky Boy, go ahead and pull him out. There are 4 little dots here on the front, and you can see they're all lighting up. This one's charged as well. So it's not these. I used the basis on my Steam Deck, just yesterday, no issues. So I know these aren't the problem. There's something wrong with the fan. And I almost want to cry, honestly, because everything really looks great for the most part. This new Alyss model looks really good. It's really comfortable. I'm going to have to learn to breathe, not through my nose while I'm suiting, but other than that, it's pretty darn awesome. But the fan doesn't work, and the fan is extremely important. If you have, well, every fursuit head's going to get hot, but with a foam suit, it tends to be a bit more porous. It's also lighter, usually. So people tend to not use fans in, like, foam head-based suits, though you can if you want to. There's nothing that says you can't. For, like, the resin, which Alyss 1.0 was a resin base. Resin doesn't breathe at all, and it's really heavy, too. Not insanely heavy, like you can use it for fursuit heads, but it's really heavy, and it's very solid. It doesn't breathe. So getting a resin head, you need a fan. You do. Alyss 2 and 3.0 are both 3D printed, as I mentioned before. If you look at, I think Fuzzbutt Fursuits makes a lot of head bases, and there are others that do as well, but I think of them in particular because if you look at a picture of their head bases, there's holes all over them, and that's not a negative. Just look at them and you'll see what I'm talking about. The holes are intentional. They're supposed to be there. They help with airflow. They help it breathe, and 3D printed head bases also tend to be pretty light. So it's usually a good choice when it comes to using or making a fursuit head. With Blue Wolf, again, she's 3D printing her own things, and she is using the 3D printed plastic. With hers, though, there are no holes. Everything is solid. So it's not going to be as heavy as resin, but it's not going to breathe like foam necessarily, or even the other 3D printed heads that have holes. So because of that, it's going to be kind of important to have a fan. And I think I've explained the whole process before. When the fan actually is on and works, it'll pull air from the nostrils, as well as the mouth and maybe bits of the eye, and pull it through the head. It'll go out through the ears. It's impossible for you to see from there, but there are mesh vents here in the ears. So it's unfortunate, and I'm not going to say, I'm going to put Alyss down before I drop her. I'm not going to say I can't necessarily use the head. It's just not going to be comfortable. Just sitting here talking to you is going to get, with the head on, is going to get hot. So it's definitely not ideal. And in between this shoot and the last, I did message Blue Wolf and let her know, just the results of all of this. There wasn't too much to report. Most things are very positive. I told her I did like the feet paws, although the bottoms are coming off of one of them. Like not the bottoms, but that fur that I'll probably need to glue. But my biggest issue is that fan, and so I'm gonna wait and see what she says about that. Unfortunately, that may influence whether I use Alyss in the future, I don't know what that is, or if I just send her back. So as of right now, I can't answer that, and I'm sorry to end on that, but that's kind of how it is. Along with everything I've shown you, I did want to mention a few things, and I kind of sprinkled them throughout this video. Just going back to, missing the tail and ordering the ears because she had to send me the tail. I did all that in, I think, it was September when I got Alyss 2.0, somewhere around there, of 2021, and she had forgotten the tail. And she said it was going to be a week to get it, and weeks passed and I didn't have it. And so I figured while she was working on it, she could make me the ears because those were new. They were completed around November of 2021, and I'm just getting them now. So yeah, that shouldn't happen for something as simple. And I will freely tell you, I've never made fursuit parts before, so I'm not going to say you can make a whole fursuit in a day because that's kind of impossible. Well, someone ambitious has done it, but generally you don't do that. It takes a while to make these things, I understand that, but this is widely known as the easiest part to make, the tail, unless your tail is insanely patterned and has 17 different colors. I don't know how much it takes to make ears, but it's not a head. So it shouldn't take over a year to get these two components alone. And I don't know why it did. When it came to Alyss's head, I sent it back. She received it in May of 2022. I keep forgetting it's 2023 now. I received her 2 weeks after, or 2 weeks in December, a week after Midwest Fur Fest. And it can take a while to make a head. You can see how complicated they are. There's a steep learning curve for making fursuit parts in general. But when I sent it to her, she said she was going to get to work right on it. It was frustrating seeing her finish other people's suits and not touch Alyss. And I'm sure that sounds very entitled. Like, why should you be able to skip the line? And if I was commissioning all new parts, then no, I would go to the back of the line. But she agreed this is a special case. This is a repair. This is not, well, before the feet paws, this was just a repair, or rather a rebuilding, because she essentially had to build a whole new head. And that was frustrating. When I sent out messages, I didn't get responses a lot of the time. It would take several tries of me sending messages before she responded. And that pattern started when I commissioned Alyss 2.0. 1.0 was fine, and I was always excited to tell people who made my suit, and I would praise her to the high heavens. I was really proud of my first suit. I still love that suit wherever the hell it is. But it was 2.0 and onwards where the communication kind of became lackluster. And so that was frustrating. I will again say that this was an add-on. Since she had to send the head, I decided to just get new feet paws, ones I could actually use. So that was a new commission, but it was paired with something that was being repaired, and it was going to be sent with two things that were already done, that had been done for a year. It's just been a really frustrating process. And when people ask me who made my suit, I of course say Blue Wolf Studios. I am never going to tell you I made this suit. It's not going to happen ever. I never take credit for something I didn't do. So I will very much tell you that Blue Wolf Studios made my suit. But when it comes to recommending her, that's a different story. Again, when the first one was made, I shouted her from the rooftops. But I'm very hesitant to recommend her now just because of communication issues. And it's not even a language thing. Blue Wolf is in Costa Rica. Her primary language, or her native language, is Spanish. And I study the heck out of Duolingo, but I am nowhere close to fluent in Spanish. So we do have that language barrier, but that's not a complaint. That's not when I talk about communication, that's not it. It's not the difference in language. That's a lesson in patience and understanding for both parties. So that's not the issue. The issue is not hearing anything and then asking and not hearing anything and doing that same song and dance. When I received this, I did let Blue Wolf know how I felt about this whole process, and I wasn't super happy with it. And she actually got back to me, and she apologized. And I know she had been sick a few times during the last year. I don't think it was COVID, but she'd been sick, and she's been coming to the States a couple times. I believe she is still trying to move to the States. So there's been a lot going on, and I understand that. I'm not a person that expects a maker to respond to them every day or something like that, or an artist, or whomever, whatever it is. But I understand that life happens, very much so. And I've talked about this regarding Kickstarters as well. As long as you keep communication open, as long as you're transparent with people, they tend to give you leeway. They tend to be sympathetic. It's just when I have to chase you down to find out what's going on, that's an issue. And I just let her know, just in the future, please keep that line of communication open. I'm not, especially if you're sick, I'm not saying you need to tell me what's going on with you specifically. You don't need to tell me your ailments. You don't need to send me x-rays. You don't need to give me a doctor's note. I'm not your employer. Heck, my employer doesn't do that. So it's not that serious, but just if you are a maker or an artist or anyone who sells something of that nature, please just keep that in mind. Please just keep your clients in the loop. That's what I'm asking you to do. And so at this point, I have trouble recommending Blue Wolf Studios, and I did tell her that too. But like I said, she did get back to me and she did apologize, and she was saying how things were, things were crazy last year. But I started keep scratching my nose. I'm being attacked by fur. But it wasn't fair to her clients, which it really wasn't. And other people have had great experiences. Heck, my first experience with her was great. This, you guys know me, this is a very honest channel. This is not a monetized channel. I will tell you my experience, good, bad, or meh. And this has been my experience with all of this so far. Oh, God, I hope this video is less than the last one. I really do. It probably isn't because I talk too much, but that's it. That is literally unboxing Alyss. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know what you think about the new Alyss. I've seen other furry YouTubers who get new suits. Sometimes they're different suits, but sometimes they're newer suits of the same character, and not everyone is kind in the comments. So if you aren't a fan of her chubby look, go ahead and let me know. I don't know how I feel about her chubby look, but let me know what you think about the new feet paws. If you are familiar, are these digitigrade? Because I think they are, looking at the way they're made. Do you have experience with those? Have you made them? What do you think about them? Thoughts on the tails? There isn't much there because they're tails, but I have to find them because they're all buried now. I find the old tail versus the young tail, or the new tail. So even just if you've made tails, what process do you use when it comes to attaching the tail to like the actual belt loops? I know nobody does this, but this is a bit extra for me. Thoughts on the different colors as well, because I pointed those out. I think it might be the same with the feet paws, actually. I didn't even think about that when I was showing you the feet paws. But comparing these two, they look about this. They look similar, but there's still a slight difference. So hopefully when I'm walking around in my Franken suit, no one notices. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about this new suit. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because depending on what Blue Wolf says, you should be seeing more of her, maybe? I don't know. Maybe she can help me fix it myself. I don't know how to solder, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. You guys know the drill. If you like what I do, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And I've been promising the Steam Deck, and then Alyss came. So we're gonna go back to this. We're gonna go to the Steam Deck next. I'm gonna go ahead and spend the next 3 videos on it. So other half of, I almost said July, January, and then all of February. I hope to do it in suit. We'll see. Depending on what Blue Wolf says, and if I can fix this, or if I can tolerate sitting in this for 20 minutes in the heat, or however long the videos take. But the first video, I'll do a brief history of me with my PC gaming, just so you know where I am, because there's a lot of different people who are looking at the deck. People who've never PC gamed in a life, all the way to people who have master's degrees in comp-sci and regularly take apart computers and have been gaming since they were in diapers. So I just want to give you a little bit of that history, but it's going to be more about what the Steam Deck is, what it offers, what you should think about when considering it, if you indeed do want one, the differences between the 3 different models and why I chose the model I did. A bit of the process that I went through, which is significantly better now because there's not a line anymore. And a bit of the hardware. I'll do a, I guess, soft unboxing because I've had the thing for 4 months. So it's not going to be a first look for me, most certainly. But it might be a first for you guys. So I'm going to see if I can shove it back in the box the way it came in. And I will unbox that, show you what my model comes with, and just some general hardware. My second video is probably going to be on software, isn't quite the right word. I'm just going to show you the ins and outs of the actual deck. So not the buttons or anything. That'll be this first video. The second video will be all about game mode, how it works, how you navigate, all of that, as well as desktop mode. And I'll try and give you some tips that I've learned regarding both, and some things to look out for, some things, there will be some things in my first video that I will have to mention that are specifically some game related, like for game mode or desktop mode. I kind of want to keep everything to like hardware, but there'll be a few things I'll need to mention, especially when it comes to choosing a deck. There's definitely some things you're going to need to keep in mind, and some things you're going to need to research before you buy one. And my final video will be accessories. So that will give me plenty of time to try out all my accessories. I've actually tried out quite a few. I think I've tried out all of them at this point. Some things are going to be sent back, but I will try and get pictures of them anyway, because they weren't terrible. They just weren't for my needs. And so that's what I'm thinking for the rest of January and February. I hope you guys do enjoy that. I do hope I can do it in suit, because I know there's a crap ton of Steam Deck review vids and tips and tricks vids and all of that. So I'm not going to say I'm necessarily doing anything new, honestly. This is just a casual gamer with a fairly average background in PC or in gaming in general. That's just sharing her story. And hopefully you can hear it all through a Purple Fox, because that would be significantly cooler than hearing it from me. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. So I guess all I can say now is have a good night.